Luke Cage Season 1. Guys, I have been dying to talk about the show ever since I started my series of Marvel reviews leading up to Infinity War. Now we're finally on to Luke Cage, and let me tell you about my history with the character of Luke Cage. I adore this character a lot. He's actually one of my favorite Marvel characters, along with Daredevil in the series of Marvel Netflix reviews, since I love the character Daredevil and Luke Cage. And those were the two characters that I was excited to see get their Netflix treatment. And Luke Cage has been a character I've wanted to see a movie. I know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson would want to play Luke Cage, and there's a lot of fan photos and posters of Dwayne Johnson as Luke Cage, and I know that he would nail it. But I'm satisfied with the Netflix show that we have right now because this show is friggin' awesome. Marvel definitely took it to the next level with this show because this isn't really a comic book superhero TV show. This is an urban crime drama show on the same lines as like The Wire or Power or any other show in that genre. And with a character like Luke Cage, it's very appropriate to have this tone and this vibe and this feeling, especially since this show takes place in Harlem, New York. And let me tell you something. Harlem, New York, oh my goodness, I love the atmosphere, I love the vibe, I love the music, I love the characters, I love everything about the setting in Harlem, New York, and I just love how Marvel expanded their universe, not only just for films, but for television shows as well, like Luke Cage, and like I said, they took it to the next level with this show. I also love the fact that the show takes place in an urban environment in Harlem, New York, and especially for someone who lives in the urban environment, it shows the struggle and the reality of living in any type of environments in this world, and it definitely sticks out to me for someone, like I said, who lives in an urban environment, which really makes me gravitate to the show a lot more. I mean, with the opening theme song for the show, the intro, probably has to be my favorite out of the 4 Marvel Netflix shows so far, because I am in the middle of binge watching Iron Fist Season 1, which I'll have my review up for that later. But the intro for the show with the jazz music, it has real instruments, where I'm just like, wow, we should have more theme songs like Luke Cage. Like, the theme song is so catchy, I can listen to it 24/7. And it just definitely fits the vibe of the show. And this show basically feels so realistic and so grounded to reality like the other Marvel Netflix shows like Daredevil and Jessica Jones. And it definitely feels like it's part of that same universe. Everybody praised Black Panther for showing an African American ensemble cast, where I'm just like, but Luke Cage did that too. But I'm just thinking since Luke Cage was a show and Black Panther was a film, they paid attention more to Black Panther than Luke Cage. But to be honest with you, Luke Cage had to have a greater cast, if not as evenly as great as Black Panther, because the cast in Luke Cage is just perfect. Mike Coulter, of course, is phenomenal as Luke Cage. I mean, I love this character so much. He made this character his own. I loved him in Jessica Jones, and it made me want to see his solo show. And his character is so likable. He is so, like, I just want to hang out with this guy very badly, because he seemed like the guy, like, you see him on the street, like, hey, what's up, man? Which they do a lot in the show. He's basically like how Luke Cage is to Harlem is how Spider-Man is to Queens, or like how Daredevil is to Hell's Kitchen. Like, this guy is popular in this part of New York. Like, this guy, like Luke Cage, is like the star of Harlem, and he is the hero in the face of Harlem. And this guy, like the other, doesn't view himself as a hero. He just gets the job done and then bounces off. Like, Luke Cage, to me, is a definition of just a guy who is a hero, but he doesn't call himself a hero. I mean, he does the right things, he does what he feels is right, but he doesn't view himself as a hero. And to be honest with you, I kind of like heroes like that, where they don't view themselves as heroes, but of course they don't view themselves as villains. They just get the job done, they just get the job right, and they move on. And Luke Cage did that, and Mike Coulter played that character very well. Of course, that he has unbreakable skin, because if you punch him, your hand will just break like, which what happened in the first episode of the show, which was hilarious. I loved that scene in the first episode. I do love the relationship between Pops and Luke Cage, because they have a sort of father-son bonding together, and Pops is the owner of the barbershop, and their bonding is so sweet and heartwarming. When Pops died later on in the show, it was heartbreaking to see. It really crushed me when Pops died, and it also helped move the plot forward, no pun intended, because Pop's most iconic line in the show is forward, always, never backwards, which is something that is very motivational and it's a life lesson to learn, which I'm going to use that from now on, because it's always good to move forward and never go back, because you don't want to go back in the past and get hurt again. You always want to move forward into a brighter future, which, again, that is pretty much the message of this show. Like, always move forward, like, never backwards. And Pops, I do gotta say, is I miss the guy. Even though we've seen him in like 3 episodes, I miss him. Of course, you know, Rosario Dawson gotta be up in here as Claire again. Like, she can never leave, like, these characters. She can never, like, she's based, like I said, she's the Nick Fury of the Marvel Netflix show series. Like, she pops in and she helps out Luke Cage, and they have a relationship building up and stuff, which was very nice to see. I love her chemistry between her and Luke Cage. I love the part where, like, Luke Cage tells her, do you want to get some coffee? And Claire's like, no, dude, I'm not sleeping with you. Because she knows him. Like, she's all like, dude, I know you, dude. I know you. Like, it's really, like, their chemistry is, like, very on point. And that's what I really love about the cast. Like, you could tell that they're having a ball. You could tell that they're having fun playing these characters, like, in the show. And you could tell, like, they're very passionate about this project. They're very passionate about these characters and what they're doing. And we have a great team. I have a great crew behind the show. That's what I really love about movies and shows, because you have a great crew behind it. And we also have another female character who has a thing for Luke Cage, Misty, who is a police cop, and she's on Luke Cage and whether he's responsible for all this crime in Harlem City. And her and Claire had a little beef later on in the show, which was, like, cool to see. But, you know, they made amends at the end, so which was very cool. And Misty was a very strong female character, which I like, which I hope we will get to see more of her in season 2, which I actually do buy her character a lot. And like I said, Marvel and Netflix, they're killing it right now with these shows. But I'm in the middle of binge watching Iron Fist, but unfortunately, see my review for that later. But yeah, Misty is a very great character. And let's get on to the villain, because whoo, once again, Marvel and Netflix has been doing a fantastic job with their villains. Mahershala Ali as Cottonmouth. Oh boy, was he a villain. I'm like, this dude was menacing. He was threatening. He gives no Fs. He just basically like, hey man, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm the G, and I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna beat the living crap out of you. And he's basically like Harlem's kingpin, which I thought was a very great. I thought that was very great for what Marvel and Netflix did, because they had their own kingpin for Luke Cage, just like how Wilson Fisk was the kingpin for Daredevil, and Cottonmouth, which he doesn't really like to be called Cottonmouth, what I thought was hilarious, but Mahershala Ali's performance was just praiseworthy. I mean, I think he should get a lot more credit as being Marvel's one of the greatest villains, because his motivation was clear, spot on, and just as clear, spot on for his cousin, Mariah, played by Alfre Woodard, which, big props to her too, because I love me some Alfre Woodard. She is fantastic as Mariah, and just like Cottonmouth, she gives no F's as well. She may be sweet and kind on camera, but off camera, she is just this total manipulative B, which I think really adds a lot to her character as well, where she could be very two-faced. She could be very two-faced. Like, she could be sweet on camera and on TV, but when the cameras are off, she's just this total. She is this monster, which I loved as well. I love performances like that. And Alfre Woodard, big round of applause to you. Like, you should have won an Emmy, or should have been nominated for an Emmy for this. I also love this scene where he puts on the iconic comic book costume suit with the fro, and yellow button-up shirt and the pants and the belt chains, and he looked himself in the mirror and said, "I look stupid." Because I love that. That was a great nod to the fans and from the comics as well. That was hilarious. My only negative with the show is that there is a villain in the last couple episodes of this season who is the brother of Luke Cage, Diamondback, who has sort of a beef with him, and it sort of gets silly with the last few episodes where he wears a costume and stuff, and I'm like, okay, y'all, this is getting too ridiculous. Overall, guys, I love Luke Cage. It's one of my favorite Marvel Netflix shows as of right now. It's one of my favorite shows on Netflix right now. And I just love the show so much, and I cannot wait for season 2. I'm going to give season 1 of Luke Cage an A. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and let me know what you think of Luke Cage in the comment section down below. As always, guys, if you are new to my channel, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.